Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. Today we're going to talk about the GameSir G4s Gaming Controller. It's a Bluetooth controller, works with your Android device, your iOS device, and even Windows and VR. Been using it for a little while, even posted about it on social media, but want to do a video giving you my thoughts, show off some gameplay, some various games, and talk about design and some overall features of the controller. So let's go ahead and get started. Now to begin, I want to go ahead and talk about design and build quality. Now this controller is $50 at Amazon. I will link to it below if you're interested. And I've been using this for a good amount of time now, and it has very little wear. The joysticks feel the exact same. The only mark that I've actually made on it is this little nick right there, and that's it. So overall, it's very sturdy, very well made. It feels similar to an Xbox controller, so if you have one of those. Now let's go ahead and turn it on. You'll see there are LED lights as well, so there are colored LED lights and some LED lights right here as well. This clip right here pops up to actually slide in a device. Now this actually just synced with my device right here over Bluetooth, so it automatically reconnects to whatever specific Bluetooth device you had it previously connected to. The G4s is actually very comfortable to hold. The gray right here is textured and also provides some grip as well. It's very easy to hold on to. The buttons are not cheap feeling whatsoever. They do not get loose. They do move just a little bit, but that is not out of the ordinary at all for these type of buttons. The joysticks, as I mentioned, feel exactly the same, and they also click in and have a click very similar to the Xbox controller. You see you have R1, L1, L2, and R2 as well right here. You have your slot to charge the device. Now it does have an embedded 800 milliamp hour battery. You can also use it as a wired connection to maybe a computer. It does come with a micro USB to USB cable as well in the box, along with instructions as well. So here's just a closer look at all of it. Now I do want to take a closer look at this little clip right here. Now it does offer two angles. You have one right here which is 110 degrees, and then you have a 150 degree angle, which is the one I use it at the most. And how the mechanism works is it actually extends out. So I guess the range of extension is from a 3.5 inch display device to about a 6-inch display device. So pretty much any smartphone out there fits just fine. Now something notable is how easy it actually is to clip a device on. You can just go ahead and go like that. And I also want to make note that I do have volume rockers. I did this on purpose. There are volume rockers on this device where this actually clips onto, and it doesn't necessarily push the buttons, which is a huge plus because obviously it's going to hinder your ability to press the volume buttons, but it doesn't go ahead and activate your volume buttons all the time. So that is actually a really great feature. Now something I want to mention about the design is that when you are at the 150 degree angle and you set the controller down, the top heaviness of the phone is actually going to weigh it back. So you'll see the controller does flip up, which is just fine. However, what I recommend is that you just kind of tilt it up, and there you go. It does not tilt up off the table at all. And this is one way that you could just have it using as a stand if you're watching a video or something like that. You could just have it flat right there, and it's actually at a very good angle. It's me sitting here to actually look at the screen and see what's on it. Now in terms of stability, it holds onto the device very well. It's very secure. It does shake a little bit when you shake it around, but you usually don't do that. So when you're moving around, it's actually not going to move the device, and it's very sturdy. I'm very comfortable holding it upside down like so. You don't do it very often, but I am comfortable doing that and shaking it around. I've had absolutely no issues with the device actually slipping out. So that was a big concern of mine, and this controller has actually exceeded expectations. Now, of course, with the controller connected, I can actually use the device if I would like to now. No real necessary reason other than to open up a widescreen game. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's open up Modern Combat to start. Now I'm going to play a first-person shooter, a sport game, and a racing game. Just the three of the main ones. And of course, with gaming on mobile phones getting bigger and bigger and graphics getting better and better, controller is actually definitely needed, especially for a lot of games. Touchscreen controls are just not the same as a physical button. Now while this game loads up, as you can see, it does recognize that I'm already connected to a controller. Oh, and I forgot one more thing. It does have a hidden dongle, not necessarily hidden, but an awesome slot for a Bluetooth dongle that you can connect via USB right in the controller. Awesome, awesome feature added, especially if you want to go ahead and do some gaming on your PC, if you want to connect your Xbox to your PC, anything like that. You can just go ahead and connect this guy to your PC and it works just fine. I have actually tried it out when I was streaming from my Xbox One. So let's go ahead and play a game. I'm going to go ahead and run through the campaign actually. So also want to make note to clip up to that different angle. You can go ahead and do so and it stays there just fine. You can clip into whatever angle you want. Now I'm gonna go ahead and angle the controller a little bit just so you guys can see the display just fine. But let's go ahead and hit start, load up the game, and play just a little bit. All right, so one of the first things with a first-person shooter is sensitivity, and that's a very big thing. And you can customize this. Specific developers have actually optimized it so you can customize the sensitivity, of these buttons. And this works just fine as a complete gaming controller when you're using a first-person shooter. It's perfect, to be honest. It allows you to use all the buttons that you would use. You can crouch down, throw a grenade like I just did. You'll see I'm crouching down, X to reload, and you can customize these buttons in specific games as well, so you don't have to worry about having to learn new button controls. A lot of them allow you to actually customize specific buttons for shoot, specific buttons for jump, and all of that good stuff. So overall, you'll see game running just fine. I'm not doing too well. I'm actually trying to play through this camera right now, but you'll see it is just fine. And of course, you can use it as a button to pause, start, select. You have this home button. Actually, this button actually acts as a home button. So you see, I just went home there. Now, I want to go ahead and move on to Asphalt 8. All right, so Asphalt is a game that I enjoy playing, probably one of my favorite racing games right now. And you can use various buttons for similar controls if you'd like to. I find that I use R for accelerate, X for brake, and then B for boost. So you'll see to go into that slide. Again, I'm playing through the camera, so it's a little bit difficult. But you'll see I can use B to boost, press it again. And overall gaming has just been overall better experience with a controller connected to the device. It just seems like for me, touchscreens just don't do very high-end games justice when it comes down to it, especially a landscape game. You're trying to play with buttons. Now, I want to go ahead and switch away from a racing game and switch to my favorite game to play now with the controller, which I extremely disliked playing without a controller. It was pretty much unplayable without a controller, and that would be FIFA. It's a game that I actually really enjoy playing on Xbox, and then when you try and play on your phone, a touchscreen with a specific game like this just isn't the best. Now, I do want to talk about battery life. I have used this straight with pauses in between where I turn it off, don't use it. It lasts me about 10 hours of playtime. That's with an 800 milliamp hour rechargeable battery, which is perfectly acceptable to me. Has a great standby time as well. It doesn't necessarily deplete charge while it is off either. So you'll see I can go ahead and use the controller or obviously switch to the touch screen if I would like, but I want to go ahead and just jump into a game. Again, perfect example, controller connected, so it recognizes I have a controller. Would you like to use that as your control method? Of course I would, because it makes the game a lot more fun. Now, in terms of downsides, only one time I had to actually reconnect it to a device. It does a good job at switching devices. I've actually had this connected to about 4 devices in total, and it's actually pretty easy to repair. You just press and hold. For me, it's B and the middle button. You press and hold. Instructions talk about all of that, but B, the middle button, I go ahead and search for it on my device, and it works just fine. So let's go ahead and play a little bit of FIFA. And as I mentioned, it makes it so much better to actually feel the direction you're gonna go. You'll see I go ahead and pass. It honestly feels very similar to how it would feel if I was maybe on a computer playing or on an Xbox playing. All right, but anyways, that's really about everything I want to talk about with the GameSir gamepad. It's interesting. There's a reason that this controller has almost 5 stars on Amazon, and that's because it works how it should. It works well, it syncs well with games just fine, it's easy to pair, it's comfortable to hold, it's got good build quality. I found a hard time trying to find things to complain about this device, to be completely honest. So overall, I would say it's definitely a go. I'm gonna try and score a goal right here. Hopefully you can score. Oh, just for you guys, there you go. So overall, that's about it. And to obviously unclip it, you can do so. And you can still play. It doesn't necessarily need to be attached since it's via Bluetooth. But overall, it's easy to just clip back on. And there you have it. To turn it off, you can just press and hold that middle button. Overall, that would be the GameSir G4s Gamepad. I will link to it down below if you are interested. Let me know what you think, though. Leave a comment. If you've used this guy before, if you use another one, just leave a comment. Let me know. Curious to hear from you guys since this is my first gamepad I've actually ever used on a device. So it does make gaming a lot more enjoyable on your mobile device. And that's really about it. So click that subscribe button if you're interested. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.